Hello and welcome to Rage Quit. My name is Jane. Today I'm going to be asking the question whether or not Games Workshop will delay the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now I realise that might come as a little bit out of left field because they have not announced a new edition of Warhammer 40,000, and of course the reason for this delay would be COVID-19. Now I'll get into that in a moment. I will say just bear with me if I stutter or I slur my speech a little bit. We just had a baby girl like on the 1st of April, so I'm quite tired. We have a newborn in the house, so just bear with me. So for those of you who don't know, Games Workshop have done the Adepticon previews, and there's no mention of a new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now this is the second one that they've done. I thought maybe they would put this edition, they would put the 40k announcement in this one, but they haven't done. They have said that they are going to do more. There's another online preview in 2 weeks. They also said, right, tellingly at the end of the online preview today, they said that they'd only announced about 50% of what they were going to announce. Now that's not to me an indication necessarily that they were definitely going to announce Warhammer 40,000 new edition, but there's a sort of common belief at the minute online that a new edition, not inevitable, but could definitely come this summer, and that's when Games Workshop tend to do their big releases. So the last edition we had Age of Sigmar, the second edition I think that was last year. I'm not 100% sure when that was. I think that might have been about May, but you know, we had Kill Team and Warcry. They both come in July, and then 3 years ago, from July this year, 3 years ago, we had Warhammer 40,000 8th edition. So there's a bit of a belief that July this year would be the perfect time to do a new edition. They started working on that edition as soon as the other one was released. They said that. I saw that in a stream myself. So why would I talk about the delay? Well, obviously COVID-19, it's a current virus that's affecting the whole world. Everybody knows about it. You're all probably staying indoors and you're all probably sick of hearing about it, and I appreciate that. But a bit of me thinks that these Adepticon reveals, which we can have a look at, I won't necessarily go through them all, we'll maybe talk about them a little bit at the end. Maybe Adepticon would have been where they would have announced a new edition of 40k. They might have said, oh, and this is actually coming. Now, they do say there's more coming, and they might want to, like, stick it in one of them. I sort of felt like the first one where they had like the hype on Twitch was like, they were like the biggest channel on Twitch for a while. They had like 40,000 people. Yes, people were making that reference. I thought that would be like, oh, this would be a perfect time to announce it. And you know, they've got lots of different releases. I'm just scrolling through them here. Some of the Behemoth sounds Behemoth? I'm not sure how I'd say like Behemoth, which sounds like I'm saying Behemoth. By the way, I hate websites do this where you scroll and it goes through the pictures like that. Games Workshop, you should stop that. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff, and we'll maybe come back to that, but no sign of a new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now, if Games Workshop were planning on releasing the new edition this July before the COVID-19, Adepticon would have been, I think, a great place for them to announce it. I think they generally do their announcements quite close to release, but I think with a big edition, they might sort of like ramp it up. Now, it could be that they'll maybe they are still doing it and they wouldn't have actually announced it at Adepticon because there was so much going on for every single game. They like hyped it up. Honestly, I think they may have overhyped. They may have overhyped the Adepticon reveals. I don't think anything has been that like amazingly stand out, but you know, it's your opinion. It could be different from mine. But yes, I think like Adepticon might have been the start of their releases. Now, do we think, and I do think this, that COVID-19 might have just made them press the pause button? That's what I really think. I think what they might have done is said, actually, if the COVID-19 stuff's still going on this summer and our stores are shut because a lot of their stores are shut, a lot of their online ordering is shut, if that is still in place in July, it makes sense that they wouldn't then release their biggest game, a new edition for their biggest game. Like, everybody wouldn't understand that. That wouldn't make any sense. So instead of actually announcing that it's coming, they're perhaps just biding their time. They've pressed paused on the marketing. They may have pressed paused on everything, and they're just like, actually, we'll just wait. So the question here is, how are they going to delay it? They might delay it, but obviously if they've not announced it, we're never going to know if they did delay it or not. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any kind of sense? My brain is frazzled, but in my head it makes sense. Basically, I'm saying they may have delayed the announcement that would have happened. And that might be because they may be pondering whether or not they're going to delay the release. Now, the world is in, I don't want to say in chaos, but it's obviously things are different at the moment. Will everything be back to normal in the end of July? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe things might be returning to normal, who knows? And maybe they'll just do the hype in a shorter window. Games Workshop are very good at doing hype, therefore they'll probably only need a month to really ramp up the hype for a new edition. Like, it will kick off, like, Games Workshop 8th edition of 40k was massive in the wargaming community, and I can't see a new edition of 40k not being massive. Now, I could be completely wrong. It might be that no new edition is even coming, in which case the egg will be truly on my face. I actually did have egg for dinner, so maybe it is on my face. You know what I mean? So, like, it could be there is no new edition. But it just, in the last 3 years, in that July slot, we literally had Warhammer 40,000 8th edition, then we had Kill Team, and then we had Warcry. I'm just sort of expecting 40k to come back around. If not, there will be a plan that Games Workshop have for that kind of slot. And they did, even in those in that window, they'd actually put a 2nd edition of Age of Sigmar in. I think that was last May. So they like to release the big stuff in summer. Now, the fact that we've not heard anything, like this time last year, they may have announced like a Warcry at Adepticon or Gamma or whatever it was. We'd heard something about that new big release that was coming in the summer. This year, we've not heard or we've not seen anything, and they had the opportunity. Now, people in the Twitch chat are a little bit disappointed because I think there's this feeling that it's almost inevitable and it is coming. But they're reluctant now to show off all of their big stuff because they can't give like release dates. They could say summer 2020, but if COVID-19 still keeping everybody in their houses in July, they're not going to release it. They'll not release a big edition like that when the supply's not going to be there and the people aren't going to be able to get to stores and play each other and stuff like that. So will Games Workshop delay 40k? I think the answer, if it was coming, I think they will delay announcing it as long as they can until they know what's coming. I could be wrong, it might not even be on the way, but there you have it. By the way, they do go to a new edition of 40k. I would very much like them to modernise their rules and go to alternate activations, or at least do it like Kill Team does, where you do all your movement and then you alternate activate the others. That would almost tempt me to jump into 40k. Now let's quickly just go through all of these announcements. I say very quickly, I don't play most of these games, so this is going to be very difficult to talk about. Psychic Awakening, that's been going on. I sort of liken Psychic Awakening as something they would do at the end of an edition, really try to mix things up, and then they'll just freshen it all back up with a new edition. So Psychic Awakening is one reason why I think we would have got a new edition of 40k. If you're an expert in 40k, you tell me I'm wrong. There's a book, More Psychic Awakening. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure who these are, but it's Age of Sigmar and the Sons of the Behemat. I can't stop saying Behemat in my head. That sounds interesting. They've not revealed too much though. That's sort of like, it's a coming. There's a trailer for their animated stuff, which I am very excited about the animated stuff because I think that can really maybe get me into that universe, where at the minute I feel strongly sort of disconnected from the universe. Then they've got this stupid part of the website where you've got to scroll through. Like, I'm not going left to right, I'm just scrolling. Yeah, they're pretty pictures, but don't do that, Games Workshop. I hate it. Lord of the Rings, yeah, fine. I'm presuming this is like a campaign book or something like that. A couple of ranges. The Blood Bowls is a tree man, which looks interesting, sure. Again, they're doing the stupid scrolly bit. I do apologise. Horus Heresy is getting something, and I like this idea for this box set for the Lumineth. They were like, everything's in the box, like the cards, the war scrolls, and all that kind of stuff. So in that sense, I've got to say I actually do like that. Now, I do much prefer this kind of thing where I can click it, Games Workshop. Please do more of this. I've got to say, by the way, if I was going to do any Warcry, Age of Sigmar army, these guys would be it, I think, at the moment. I just really like them. I'd probably paint them up like Dark Elves as well, go black and purple. Oh, you know, it's tempting. It is tempting just to do it. So some interesting stuff there. Bit of a strange video. Will Games Workshop delay a game that's not been announced? I mean, that is pure speculation at best. I just wanted to make a video because I've not been on for a little while, so we've just had a baby, so I Obviously, by the way, the mother and child are both doing well, before anybody asks, that's fine. Just bear with me. I think it's what I'm saying. My mind's going to be all over the place. Have a most beautiful day. Try and stay safe in all these times. Everybody stay at home. Obviously, we had to go to the hospital with the child. But, you know, we had certain things, like I was only allowed in the delivery suite when the baby was, like, you know, on its way out kind of thing. And then I couldn't stay on the ward, so I had to come home and then go pick them up and that kind of stuff. So even during something as simple, or relatively simple, something as common as childbirth, you know, all the precautions are being taken by like the NHS and all that kind of stuff, or the healthcare in the UK. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you think a new edition is coming this summer, and do you think they would delay it? I think the answer to both those things is yes, but let me know your thoughts. Stay safe, have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.